through 3 games, what's the biggest pleasant surprise of the season for the 49ers for you guys? Leo.
I'm going to say Javon Kinlaw because like you've stated earlier this week, it wasn't just yourself and it wasn't just a couple of beat reporters that were there at practice. It was everybody across the board saying, we don't know if this guy has it. He has a lot of pressure on his shoulders, being such a high draft pick, having to replace team captain in DeForest Buckner. And yet he's looked ahead of schedule in the first 3 weeks. Once he starts finishing off some of those sacks, oh man, this defensive line isn't be playing at a much higher level than they are currently.
I'm going to say maybe it's not so much a pleasant surprise, but it's like more a pleasant reassurance that to see that the 49ers depth is still really good. I know they didn't play two obviously very subpar opponents in both New York teams, but it's still very assuring to see that, hey, they lost a ton of players, probably arguably even more concentrated elite talent right now than they did at any point last year. And you got players all over stepping up. Like Leo said, Kinlaw's progressing hard right now. And you got Kerry Hyder in the back. You got that whole defensive line stepping up. You know, Fred Warner is just, I don't know, but there's another better middle linebacker out there right now playing better than him. The secondary is doing okay. It's fine. The offense still, I mean, aside from the offensive line woes that we know, just everyone is just like, it feels like it was collective effort. And when they beat the Giants, it just felt all around, even though, like we said earlier, the offensive line was slow in the first half. So I think it's just how deep it is, just how we can see, like, all right, they're still deep and they can last long, even against average to subpar opponents, which is a great sign to see.
I'm going to go with the play of Kerry Hyder. He's been just doing really
Love
well.
Hyder.
He's looking like the Kerry Hyder of 2016, back when he was with Kasaric in Detroit, and they haven't missed a beat with him out there. You know, he's got 2 sacks now on the season, so that's definitely the guy for me.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I hadn't thought of him, but watching him on film, I mean, he looks like Nick Bosa. I mean, not, but kind of. And he's on pace for like 12 sacks this year. He's having a great year, really stepping up. I'm going to go with, what?
And he does the shrug, so you're right. He does look like Nick Bosa.
Yeah, he's doing his best Bosa impression. I'm going to go with Jerick McKinnon, even though I just criticized him for not being a 3-down back. We know that about him. He wasn't a 3-down back at any point in his life. I'm just impressed that he made it to the season. I mean, I was thinking he wouldn't make it through training camp. I've seen him a lot in camp get hurt and re-get hurt and re-get hurt. So good for him. And then the other guy I would also say is Jason Verrett, although it's only been 1 game and he's going to need to show that he can do it consistently. I never thought he could come back and move like that ever again. And he didn't, in my opinion, move that well in camp. He looks really good. He can play man-to-man coverage. Those two, I had no expectations for them. Dwelly, I knew he'd be a superstar. Nick Mullins, I always called him the next Joe Montana. But those 2 guys I kind of had questions about. So that's my answer.